they kept calling back to it by making her look wistfully at a photo and go, "I'm doing it for you guys." It's like, we get it. She's from the original movie. We know it's a different actress, but we're not fucking stupid.
Hello and welcome to another episode of A Ghost in the Magazine. I'm Steph.
And I'm Elle.
I'm Mel.
I'm Molly.
And I'm Matt, and I'm sorry about the audio, but I'm recording on a fucking phone because even though I have this nice-ass studio, Discord and my fucking Mac do not agree with one another. How are you all doing?
Better than that.
Yeah.
Terrible. I hate it so much.
Okay. This movie was terrible. And
Terrible doesn't even
that's
right.
all I have to say is that when this movie came out in 2022, I was kind of hyped for it because I'm always gonna give a fair chance, even though I don't really always feel like when they do reboots, it's gonna be great. I really don't have faith in that, but I didn't finish it. I couldn't finish it then, and I only finished it now because of this podcast.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't finish it.
Can I add also that all my notes are on my phone, which I'm recording on right
Oh
now?
no.
Oh, that's
no.
probably. But I can add this. Look at this shirt.
Oh, I love it.
I like that. I like
Good.
that.
So we
Let's-
did an episode on the older one. I think we should talk about.
Let's talk about the older one first. Let's just go
It's gonna
back.
end up being a sandwich, I think, because you'll probably have some things to say about comparatively
Yeah.
after we talk about the new one.
A little bit of the shit's in the middle, the shit sandwich,
Yeah.
Where the older one, I didn't hate. Like when I watch it, it's a solid movie of its time, period.
Yeah.
I think that the fact that they just kept going into this weird house full of chicken bones and that probably smelled terrible, that was kind of like on them. I didn't have a lot of stakes.
That's
So-
white people shit. Okay.
Kind of
You
suffers from a pacing issue too, I think.
yes.
True.
Yeah, it probably should have been a much shorter movie, and then I think it would have been better, honestly, and I don't think that's just because I have an attention span issue. I think it could have been better. I don't hate it. It is very frustrating. Why are you going into a stranger's house? They reserve the right to murder you.
Yeah. Well, and you're in Texas.
Yeah,
Like,
we don't do
that's a
that
stand
either.
your ground state. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I mean, you could have just shot me instead.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
not his style, you
Mm-mm.
know.
He's a
I
weirdo.
wanted to add a little finesse.
Mhm.
A
Yeah,
little dazzle.
he's
I'll
gonna
tell you,
die.
I wish that we were watching Texas Chainsaw Part 2 a lot more than this, because that's actually fun. That movie is.
I'll have to
Yeah.
watch that then in the future.
Yeah, I don't think I watched it.
I haven't.
Oh, dude. Like the movie poster is like a mock-up of The Breakfast Club. It's awesome.
The thing that shocked me, like when I looked into this, because I thought that there was just like, I saw the part 2 because it was on Tubi, and then I saw this one, and then I saw the remake. But there's 9 of these. There's 9 movies.
So
Is that
many.
necessary?
I
And
don't-
like some too.
But like, are you even a classic though if you don't have a bunch of ridiculous parts?
Yeah.
That's true.
I think it's a prerequisite.
What I like about the OG version is all the classic parts. It's kind of boring, honestly, and really slow. Like the first person doesn't get killed for a while, but the classic parts are pretty good. The main character chick, sorry, don't know her name. When she starts screaming, she never stops.
No.
Not movie, she screams the entire time, and she has a great killer scream. So that's a classic. And I think in a way, like House Entry is kind of a classic, horror thing. What's in this creepy haunted house?
I don't need to know.
House on the street, kind of backwoods, teeny boppers. It's given classic to me. So I like some of those elements the most, other than it being boring.
I like Franklin.
Getting boring.
Yeah, I thought Franklin was really funny, even though he was kind of annoying. But
Mhm.
like, I just thought he was hilarious. His face the entire movie. And like, what are you really gonna do in a horror situation if you're in a wheelchair? Very inclusive, but like, where are you gonna go, buddy?
Yeah.
And his friends were ableist. They didn't care. They were like,
Oh, they
"You
were
did it.
shitty.
We'll be back in a few days."
That's so rude.
It's, I don't know.
You're all right though. It's a yawner though.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It's sad to say because it spawned you know, so many afterwards, but don't put it on late at night. You'll probably fall asleep.
I think that watching the other stuff that I had to watch made me like this more in retrospect. The other one that we're going to touch on here is dog shit. And this is actually pretty good compared to that. And I think that part of it is like I was watching horror movies with my mom in like the early 90s, and she is, you know, she graduated in 1976, and so like all of the 70s and 80s horror movies are like her thing. That's like her favorite stuff. It was like her coming of age and like being an adult, and so we would watch these types of movies over and over, and I'm pretty sure I've watched this before. And so there was like a little bit of like a nostalgic childhood feel to it, even though it was boring. It's like I've seen this movie done it a million different ways, different times, and it's very familiar to me, and in that is comforting.
Down home horror movie.
Yeah, it's just very of
definitely
its
has that.
era. Yeah.
It is. It kind of ticks all the cliche boxes that you can possibly tick.
Yeah, and I made a TikTok video of him swinging his chainsaw like a crazy person at the end and put that Papa Roach song over it. So it's like really, really good meme.
Cut my life into pieces.
It's got great meme potential.
Oh
Yeah.
goodness.
Every time it pops up in my memories, it makes me laugh really hard.
It's also got like that fucked up family thing, that trope that we
Yes.
see. Like there's just like a family of freaks out in the middle of nowhere, which is like The Hills Have Eyes was like that.
Mhm.
I know Rob Zombie pulled hard from that, like these tropes from these 70s horror movies when he made his.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, I kind of like it. The fucking like weird vampire grandpa that's like a corpse, you know,
That I
is-
didn't know was alive, like alive. It scared the fuck out of me. Sorry, Mom.
And that was the grossest part too, when he's like sucking on the finger with the blood. Oh man.
Just a decrepit.
the hammer.
Everything from like that point on is like what I considered the movie.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm a zombie apologist too, though. I actually enjoy his work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
fun.
do.
It's fun. Yeah.
We like it here. We really do. So yeah. So, you know, obviously it set a precedent here.
Mhm.
You know, it has some respect here. So like when you do a reboot or a sequel or whatever, you're gonna touch on this foundational content, you I mean, like there's some things that you have to like keep. There's some things that you have to like tie into artfully. You know, there has to be some thought into it. Otherwise, we're gonna be mad. And here we are.
TCM2 is like horror comedy. It's got Bill Moseley in it, you know, Otis Driftwood, and it's got Caroline Williams in it, and like Leatherface himself is actually like he's a goofy character, and at one point like he's using his chainsaw like a phallic symbol and like putting it like right
We've got to
toward
cover this.
Gretchen's
Agreed.
private area. Yeah, it's a problematic scene, but it's a very fun movie.
It's like even if you turn it into horror comedy, as long as we have a good time.
Yeah.
You'll have a better time than you did watching either of these, I can promise you that.
That would not be difficult. I've had more fun watching paint dry.
Yeah.
Molly's mad. Okay, who wants to go first? About why you're mad.
I don't know if you guys want me to go first. Maybe
All
Molly
right.
should.
Molly's ready.
Okay. Go, Molly.
So, even just from a filmmaking point of view, so badly done. But first, the first thing I actually want to touch on is the fact that these rich kids bought a whole town in Texas.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're going to create a beautiful progressive town in Texas. And then they were surprised when they saw a Confederate flag, which, yeah, we don't want to see that, but it is Texas. Shouldn't have quite have been as surprised as you were. Also, there is a scene where the guy, I think his name is Dante, he gets hatcheted or something, or chainsawed, whatever was happening to him. He falls to the ground, and in the next shot, he gets caught. When we just saw him hit the ground, and there's no way he could have caught him. So they didn't even line up their shots right.
I didn't even catch that. I was so mad at that point. I was
editing.
rolling.
Whoever was editing it just went, done.
I'm mad at the ending. Okay, she gets away, first of all. Bogus. Kill everyone. Like, kill everyone. And also Stef scene with the random swinging of the thing, absolute like ridiculousness.
The
And,
only reason I like that is because that character got her head cut off, and I hated her, and I was rooting for her to die the whole movie.
Solid.
The only reason that made me happy was like, finally, she's dead. But apart from that, it was stupid.
that's the worst part for me. The ending, real trash.
I think the whole thing was trash going in. I was mad from the beginning, this is a gentrification. Like, fuck off. How much politicizing bullshit, building straw men to make the fucking victims look stupid and like justify like this vigilante fucking killer kind of thing. Like they almost justify it. And that fucking scene on the bus, which the bus could have been a solid scene. That scene like was the best thing that they had going for them in this entire dog shit of a movie, okay? But they had to have that fucking ridiculous bitch be like, oh, don't do anything, I'm gonna cancel you. Really? Dude, people have had opinions about public figures since the dawn of time. The only difference between now and then is the internet. And the thing that pisses me off about it is all of this like fucking like social culture war crap put on there like it means something. It doesn't mean anything. It's just fucking stupid. It's a waste of my time. I like was trying to reboot my brain the entire time I was watching it. Everything was so terribly stupid. And at one point, this is another continuity thing. She's like crawling under the house, getting chased by him. He's following her, walking across. Somehow he can hear her. He's got like mouse hearing. It's a supernatural thing, right? He can hear the mice going underneath the floorboards. And he hits the sewer line. And it drops shit all over her head. I didn't see that bitch take a shower, but she's not covered in shit.
And then she got on the bus.
Yeah.
Clean.
She's
Well,
just
is it that hard? Also, it became night and day, different parts during the movie when it didn't make sense. It started raining and then stopped raining at random times, and it didn't make sense. There was a thunderstorm for like 2 seconds, and then it stopped thunderstorming and thunderstormed again.
They made this movie a project and just like all emailed in their part at the end to like go together. Yeah.
The director definitely tried to dip their toe in several different puddles. I'll just say, hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awful from beginning to end.
Oh, here's another thing. The sister, the one who was underneath the floorboards, she gets knocked backwards off the stairs and goes through the floorboards. That's how she ends up under the house. Which, first of all, stupid. How wicked are those floorboards? First of all, how did he knock her backwards? Did he throw something at her? Because I thought he threw like an axe at her or something and it got stuck. Because she didn't have a weak shoulder after that.
I literally blinked and I thought he had like judo kicked her down the stairs, but
he was at the top of the stairs. So what did he judo kick her and then just go
run back up?
Like she literally like Matrix flew.
Well, this version of Leatherface is like the superhuman strong one because the lady, you remember the older lady with the like gray hair, she kind of tried to fight back and he threw her like 20 yards away after like sawing through her.
And it took him so long to get that woman's face off.
She was in the original though too, right?
Yeah, that's
They
supposed
brought
to
her
be
back, right?
But okay,
hardesty,
that's why
yeah.
I'm mad because this old lady, she's giving a big old spiel. She's old and she's come back and she's giving him this spiel and like, I'm the one who got away and I'm gonna kick your ass. And she gets mega chainsawed in the guts. And my thing is like, what are you coming back here for? Like, what are you
Right.
for revenge? How does that taste with a chainsaw in your abdomen? Me and Elle, we're on a ghost situation. We're on a ghost hunt, right? And a psycho killer comes out and kills me, and you get away. I expect you to stay away because if you come back for revenge, I'm hunting you. I'm haunting you.
Same.
I'm calling you names, and I love you. So like,
Same.
Stupida, what do you think you're doing here? Like, you got away.
She's like gonna haunt you forever if you walk
Nope.
away. What, bitch? What?
No. Get therapy. Get therapy.
Take
You're
some
too old for
lessons.
chainsaw revenge.
Oh, she's also, just so you all know, she's a Texas Ranger. That's what the character is supposed to be. And I only know that because I read the synopsis.
There is a short mention of it at the very start of the movie.
Okay.
I mean, 2 seconds, blink if you miss it. They're in the shop. The main character goes, who, by the way, I wanted the main character to die the whole time.
She was like the wish Jamie Lee Curtis.
The Ranger woman. She was not the original actress from the original movie for obvious reasons, because I actually looked this up. She was in 3 additional Texas Chainsaw movies, but she wasn't in this one for obvious reasons because she was sick of that shit, which I don't blame her for. But they clearly decided, instead of letting us sort of piece together that she was from the OG, they kept calling back to it by making her look wistfully at a photo and go, I'm doing it for you guys. It's like, we get it. She's from the original movie. We know it's a different actress, but we're not fucking stupid. She stood there with a shotgun, pointed at him, and goes, you know who I am. And then the thing who doesn't fucking talk just sat there going, no, I don't. And she just didn't shoot him. She deserved a chainsaw to the gut.
It was ridiculous.
I would have done it myself.
What are you coming back for? That's just ridiculous. That's
Just for shits and giggles.
And like now, just because they bought this town, he's been like hanging around.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know?
He's been chilling peacefully, apparently.
What happened
nothing.
to Zombie Grandpa? What happened to the other brother that didn't get ran over by the truck? There was ends that weren't tied up, and maybe it's because I didn't watch the whole thing. I just watched the beginning and the end of this. But for me, it was just it was so bad. This was like something that was written by somebody who has never logged off Twitter ever. Like
Yeah.
it was just the Twitter algorithm could have written this movie. And it was so fucking terrible from beginning to end. What was the movie, Steph, that I said was worse than Bad Moon and we agreed?
I can't remember.
I remember saying that recently, but this is definitely worse than whatever that was. This is worse than Bad Moon, worse than that. I can't even give it half a chud, honestly.
Oh my god, I literally said I can't rate this.
I was kind of sort of going for it. There was I think his name was like Richter or something, which, by the way, that's a stupid name. Who looks at their child and goes, ah, yes, my baby, Richter.
It sounds like sphincter.
Yeah, it sounds like Sphincter and Richard.
Oh god.
Sphincter.
Richard Sphincter.
Like, we want to name him after his great uncle Sphincter, but also his great uncle Richard. Rictus. There we go.
Oh, that's a Harry Potter spell.
But I was kind of excited because he had a gun, and I was like, oh, he might at least do a bit of damage, even if he like shoots him in the arm or something. No,
Okay,
he just
speaking
pulls
of
the gun out
gun,
of his hands and then kills him.
I have a question because they really wanted us to be attached to the 2 sisters, and we weren't.
I hate him.
We're not.
Mm-mm.
What was the deal with the short-haired sister? Was that a school shooting that she survived and had survivor's guilt? And they're like, okay, well, now you have to use a gun to save your sister's life.
He wasn't doing enough like OA interpretive dancing for it to do that.
It was just making a bunch of these like libbed out, like shitty lib characters that they could straw man and knock down and make you feel, haha, fucking lib. That's what it felt like to me. I'm beyond it. It was so fucking dumb. Because I mean, at least if you're gonna do it in a funny way. Don't do it in a way that tells me you have not touched grass in 10 years. Please. Like, it was so dumb.
It was so dumb. The deaths weren't even as good as I would say any of the other ones.
And that's what you were hoping for too. At least that.
Visceral death was the sledgehammer death, not even the chainsaw death. I would say the sledgehammer death, where and she was hiding under the chair. You guys remember that one?
Sorry, I'll take the coochie saw scene in Terrifier. No
Yes,
thanks.
Coochie saw over this.
I was watching it with my per family, who have put up with so much shit movies for the sake of this podcast. My father, who might as well be a Quaker, for he does not believe in any sort of violence, was actively rooting for all of the characters to be dead at the end of the movie.
Me too. Yeah.
That's the rating.
To soften the blow a little bit, I did Leprechaun 4, Leprechaun in Space, yesterday.
That's
so
amazing.
I'm on a bit of a roll for really fucking bad movies, but I'm once again aligned with Al. I can't even give it a half a chud.
No, I cannot.
I watched these in a row. I watched the OG, and then I watched the new one. And I got out of the OG and I was like, this is all right. I didn't have a great time. It was fine, and then I watched this one and I was like, you know what? There's something to that. I actually quite like that one. It didn't have to be this bad. Like, hire a writer that has logged off of Twitter ever. That's all I'm asking. Just a single one to check you and just be like, this is stupid. People are going to think this is stupid. And the thing is, I'm not a lib. I'm very far left. And I thought it was fucking stupid. I don't even like most of the culture war stuff. I think it's a waste of time personally. And I thought this was fucking stupid.
I'm in awe that it is so bad. And it makes me feel really good that that's the common consensus, because I couldn't finish it the first time I watched it.
It felt AI generated.
Yes.
It did, yeah. And I that's part of the reason, like, we all hate it, because let's be real, we watch a lot of really bad movies.
Yes.
But I think this one is bad without anything to really see. So, some of the older ones, the campy ones we watch, it's like, oh my goodness, let's see what they're going to do in the next 10 horrible minutes of this movie. But this is like, turn this shit off.
Yes.
It was hard to finish, you guys. Like, I had to envision Elle's voice in the back of my head. Do it for the pod. Do it for the pod. I'm like, okay. But I just left it. I literally finished it before we started our recording sessions for the day. I had it on my iPad next to me while I was in my makeup, just shaking my head.
I'm so sorry.
Speaking to those 80s, like, campy horror movies, chock full of the word that we've stricken from our vocabulary.
Yes, true. See, that's
and some worse ones.
Yeah.
Just terrible.
I don't like that that's where my brain went, but like, that is how far this took me down into the gutter. This grabbed me and like yanked me into the gutter. And I mean, it even ends on a very online way. They have a fucking self-driving car. Like, it just like, it reeks of Elon Musk. Like, the whole thing. The AI
That's
shit.
so stupid. I didn't realize it was a self-driving car. I'm like, who the fuck is driving? But I didn't care that much.
I just
so dumb.
It was the cherry on top of the shit sundae, honestly. Like,
I don't know why I thought it was a sister driving.
But
they programmed something in. I saw them do it, and I was like, oh, this is a fucking Tesla. Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Maybe it's gonna go into a lake. That's the one thing. Let it be a Tesla, because I want to believe it drove the other sister into a lake right after that.
Oh my god.
Like Ted Kennedy.
A lot of the details were confusing because the set was bad. It was just kind of dark rooms, dark spaces, weird lighting, and that was it. The dark kitchen, the dark bus, even when they were out on the street, it was kind of the same color palette. So a lot of the details were lost on me. I mean, you didn't even get good blood coverage.
I wish
I missed
more
it.
details were lost on me.
I'm giving it 0 chuds.
Yeah, this is a rare 0 chud.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going 0.
Give it -5.
Negative.
I feel like I'm owed something.
Yeah.
I'm entitled to compensation.
I am entitled to compensation. The bottle of rosé that I had during this movie was not enough. It was not enough compensation.
They should have paid for your wine, honestly.
They should pay for my wine.
Who do I have to email?
You're right. I'm gonna write a strongly worded email.
Anybody else?
I like a 0 for too. A lot of bad movies, I'm like, well, I watched it. It's in my horror repertoire now. I feel like a
No.
scholar about it. This one, I'm
Like
like,
it.
I don't give a shit if anybody knows I saw that, and I kind of wish I did. So 0.
I'm not even gonna tell anybody I watched it, except for anybody who listens to this
They're
podcast.
gonna be like, you see that Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the
That
2000?
wasn't me. That was Patricia
I didn't see it.
It just tries so hard.
It does.
for getting nowhere. That's so
Mhm.
embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. Well, I want to
I
end
just-
on a not shitty note. Okay,
At
so
least most of the characters died.
I mean that's a positive. Also have some horror news that I'm excited about. So we never share news, so let's do that. Okay, the first one is that Mike Flanagan is in talks to direct a new Exorcist movie with Blumhouse.
Saw that.
Oh.
Saw that.
Like gagged. Okay, so that's awesome. And then 2 new Evil Dead movies announced. I'm about to get so annoying. The instant anything drops poster, casting, trailers, I'm going to be 10 million times more annoying. In the meantime, you can find this podcast on the interwebs at ghostinthemagazine.site. You can find me on Twitter at witchxpudding.
You can find me at Nocturnical.
You can find me at Way More Mel.
Fuck this movie. You can find me at nighttime_T on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm on there too.
Okay, bye.